it's Tim from Karaoke Home Entertainment, and I'm really excited today to introduce to you the brand new SA710 Professional Bluetooth Mixing Amplifier from Sonken Audio Visual Karaoke. It replaces the SA700RB model, which we have been selling at Karaoke Home Entertainment now for around 10 years. Just the other day I was talking with David Zao, who's the owner of Sonken Australia, and he was telling me just how successful the SA700 series was. Super reliable, big power, and much loved by customers, and I can be a testament to that because we have sold so many of these amplifiers. But he was telling me it was just time for an update. He even considered keeping the SA700RB on, as it was essentially a legacy model and people just kept asking for it. But the 710 takes off where the 700R finished, now with a fresh redesign and a host of new features. Okay, well, let's get started with the brand new SA710 amplifier. Now, one of the really cool features they've added to this model is if you've had a party, you know, last week or something, and when you switched it off at the end of the night, it was sitting there, which is, you know, a decent level of sound coming out here. The last thing you want to do is just flick the switch on and kaboom, you get a big burst of sound coming out of your speakers. So to protect the circuitry of the amplifier and that of the speakers, when you flick it on, it resets everything for you. Gives the amplifier those few seconds to warm up and reset itself, and once it's ready to go, it will automatically start up again, and there we go. It just brings it to a decent sound level, so you're not going to blast yourself out of the room and wake everyone up instantly. Now, the fresh new look I think looks really nice with the blue and the green, highlighting the differences where the features lay. Now, you've got your auxiliary, which is default here. You can then flick the switch and it'll take you to the Bluetooth mode, so you can pair up your phone, your tablet, or your smart TV if the TV's got Bluetooth. Now, if your TV doesn't have Bluetooth, we can click over to here and select Opt, and that means optical audio input. So it's got a built-in digital to analog converter, so you can just run an optical cable straight from your smart TV into the amplifier, and then whatever sound is coming through your TV will now come through the amplifier instead and through your speakers. That enables you to sing along with all the features that the amplifier has, so you can plug your microphones in, mix the music, so whether you're using a YouTube or a karaoke app via your smart TV, you can essentially mix everything that comes through the TV through this system. You can also plug in, of course, hard drive units, so we've got multiple different units these days. DVD player can run into it as well, and then of course you've got your auxiliary line input as well. So you've got multiple inputs now, not just the single input that we used to have on the RB model from the 700 series, where you basically just had Bluetooth or line in or auxiliary. Now we've got two additional RCA inputs plus the optical input as well. Taking off where the 700R series finished, we've still got the key control here as well. So when the signal is coming into the unit, you can adjust the key level up and down in steps, so you can adjust the style of the sound coming through by using these controls. So in the middle it's on normal, so it's unchanged, and then you can step it up again, and so forth. Bring it back to normal or decrease it. So sometimes you find the song is just a little bit off your key, so you can adjust it up or down. For most cases, you'll find one or one the other way will be more than enough to get that song to the level that you want. Now you'll notice here that at the top of the amplifier we've got the peak level indicators, so as we turn up the volume you'll get indication of the peak of the output of the speakers. So when you're playing your music you'll get that extra light effect, but it's basically showing you the output of the speaker as it's going along. Now you've got, like on the 700 series, the previous model, we've got a master music control and a master mic control. So basically what that'll do, because over here we've got independent volume controls for the microphones. So even though this one might be up to 10 and this one to there, whatever, it doesn't really matter, I can still adjust over here how much of that actually is going to come out. So if I put it to 0, it doesn't matter what the level is here, you're not going to hear anything. So you can essentially silence all the microphones at once here, and you can bring them up to a level. Now, some people have asked me over the years, why would you have this and that as well? Over here, for example, you might have two different types of singers, one with a very loud voice and one with a very soft voice. So you might have to turn the soft person up and the really deep voice person, the loudest person, you might need to turn them down, otherwise you're essentially going to just drown out the other singer. So that's why you'd have that that option there. Likewise, we've got balance, and that means basically at the moment it's in stereo mode, so your voice is going to come out of both speakers. So if I wanted to push one singer to the right channel and the other one to the left channel, you could essentially have one speaker each. In the middle we're sharing it. So sometimes, yet again, you might want to change the balance. Some people like echo on their microphone, just to take the edge off, sort of thing, the sharpness off it all. So you would have just a little bit. Some people love echo, so they turn a lot up. But that's not actually where you set the actual echo, that's just how loud it is. It's on the line here below, which I'll talk about in a minute. Now each singer as well has got a low, a mid and a high, and that's essentially a graphic equalizer for your voice, where you can adjust. Yet again, you might have a deep voice, you might have a soft voice, whatever that may be, you can adjust your voice to basically suit your singing style. So you can adjust those basically by talking into the microphone, singing. You can just play around with those. If you want to give yourself a deeper sounding voice, you just play around with the lows, the mids and the highs till you get that sound that you're really looking for. Yet again, it can also be very handy if you've got two singers at the same time and one is overpowering the other. You can essentially bring everybody to the same level through this mixing process. We've also got a couple of extra little features here. This is a music bass boost. So by pushing that in, you'll instantly get a lot more bass from your speakers without adjusting any of the graphic equalizers or anything like that. We'll just lift everything up straight away and give you more bass. Deselect it and it'll go back to neutral. Down here we've got the music balance. So yet again, the music coming in from the different sources. You might, in some cases, want to have the music only coming out of the right speaker, and then when you're over here, you might want to have your voice coming out of the left speaker. So that way the music's on one channel, your voice is on the other. Depending what you're doing, it can be a handy feature sometimes to be able to adjust. When it's in the middle, of course, it's in stereo, and likewise the balance here as well. There's also the subwoofer. It's got its, on this model, it's got its own volume control, so you can it's a handy feature because your subwoofer, then you can turn the volume up to maximum on your subwoofer, but then you can control it from here, so you can adjust how much your sub is going to get. Okay, so we'll get back to the echo. Over here we can have the echo selected. So the echo can either be in stereo or mono. So you've got the option of that. You've got how loud the echo is going to be. So this is the volume control for the echo. So yet again, if I turn that down to 0, it doesn't matter what I select here, you're not going to hear anything. So this is how loud it's going to be. Then you've got the lows and the highs. It's like a little graphic equalizer again for the echo. How often that echo is going to repeat itself, and then delay between each repeat. So you can adjust everything quite essentially, so you can make a single singer really stretch their voice out and make it sound like there's more people singing. Me personally, I just like a little bit of echo, and just to take the sharpness off your microphone. But yet again, it's a personal preference with the echo. Now what Sonken's done with the 710, whereas in the past for the music they just had the controls like this, They've actually done it in graphic equalizer form, so you can really get into the nitty-gritties of it all for the left channel and right channel, and really slide up and down just like you would on a mixing desk, I suppose, the levels to get that sound, that individual sound that you want for each speaker. I've created a sort of a wave, as you can see here, up and down, just to give that effect, but it gives you that option of really playing around with it. Now that said, to be honest with you, once you set up most of this control, you'll seldom find yourself changing it. Of course, if you've got different people coming around to your house, you're going to be adjusting microphones because everybody sounds a bit different, and you want to get the sound right just for that singer. But if this is just set up in your home for your family and you've got one or two people singing, you essentially have it set up pretty simply based on how you hear it, and everybody's different, so they'll adjust the echo to suit themselves. They'll adjust the microphones to get it just the way they like, and likewise for the music. So how you want it to sound. Some people like a lot of bass, some people don't want much bass, so you can really get it set up the way you like. Like with anything, there's so many knobs, and a lot of people get really caught up with all the buttons and go, oh, this is far too complicated for me, and I don't think I'm too techie enough to work it out. I always tell everybody to break it down into sections, and if you look at it this way, that's one microphone. That's your volume, your balance, left to right speaker, how much echo you want, your low, your mid and your high. We then repeat that for the next singer, where you plug the mics into here, and this is the echo. And like I said previously, once you set this echo up the way you like it, and it's all about your hearing, so you're going to listen to it and you're going to go, oh, that's too much, that's too little. Once you adjust it, you're never going to really play around with this again. Likewise for the graphic equalizer, you adjust the sound to suit your musical taste. Over here we've got the mic master and the music and master control. So here we can adjust how loud the music's going out to the speakers and how much of the microphone output's going to go to the speakers as well. Now keep in mind, with all these controls, it's not about turning up everything to maximum, because you're going to just drown everything out. It's all about finding the balance between music and through the microphones, adjusting the voice, getting the voice right, and away you go. The 710 comes with this remote control as well. As you can see, you've got your 4 audio sources, be it DVD, optical, auxiliary line input, Bluetooth. So with a touch of a button you can just change which source you want to select. It's got the key control in the middle, so you got your neutral, your up and your down. You got your music volume on the left, so you can go up or down, and you've also got the mic volume as well, and that's master mic I'm talking about. So it's these two over here, these two controls here, the ones that are functioning, so they'll go up and down accordingly, so you can turn it up and down from a distance. Okay, this is the rear of the 710 amplifier. Power socket over here, 2 bays. You can actually connect up 2 pairs of speakers if you want to, so you can have 4 speakers in the room. Obviously the power per speaker will then drop down, so you won't get 350 watts per channel, you'll get 175 per channel. You also have 2 additional microphone inputs. Now you might say, why would you want them on the back? Well, if you're going to use wireless microphones, obviously even though they're wireless, they still have a receiver unit which connects to the amplifier, so you're best to then connect the receiver unit cable to the back of the unit. That way your cables aren't in the front, so you've got a nice clean front amplifier, and the ports are shared with the front. So the controls that I showed you previously for ports 1 and 2 on the front are shared with the 3 and 4 respectively on the back. So you could have 4 wireless mics, that's 2 receivers, and then you'd plug the 2 receivers into the back here. That way you've got no cables hanging over the front, and the units are just tucked away. Now over here we've got optical input, so that's where you'll plug your optical cable from your smart TV. Over here we have the analog stereo inputs for DVD, HDD for hard drive, and auxiliary inputs. So 3 independent inputs now, so you can run multiple sources with the multiple cables going in and just select those sources from the front of the amplifier. We've got the sub output here, so if you've got a subwoofer you'd plug that connection here, and you've also got a line out so you can take that as, and this is to go into a preamp if you want to take the audio out. We do not remove the bridging, so if you second you take these bridges out, the amplifier sound will disappear. So don't do that unless you're taking the audio out through another device and plugging it into a preamp. And in the middle, just towards the top there, you'll see the Bluetooth antenna sitting right here. This has been the Sonken SA760 amplifier. Thanks for watching.